Hey, family. How are y'all doing tonight? I hope life is treating you with kindness and your hearts are full of peace. Tonight, tonight we're diving into a story that will make your blood boil, make you cry, and by the end, make you stand up and clap. This is the story of a woman who sacrificed everything, literally everything, for 7 long years to put her husband through Harvard Law School. She worked 3 jobs, sold her late mother's house, skipped meals, wore the same coat for years, all so he could live his dream. And on the day he finally became a Harvard lawyer, he looked her in the eyes, handed her divorce papers, and said, "I'm ashamed to introduce you to my new colleagues. You're just a waitress. You'll never be Ivy League material." But 1 year later, this same arrogant man was crawling on his knees, crying, begging her for help, because the woman he called ordinary had just become the most powerful attorney in New York City. Before we start, do me a favor, smash that like button so this story reaches more people who need to hear it. Subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss these life-changing narratives. And drop a quick comment, your name, your city, and the word present so I can shout you out. All right, let's get into it. 7 years earlier, in a tiny apartment in Brooklyn, lived Aaliyah Jackson and her husband, Marcus Sinclair. Aaliyah was a waitress by day, Uber driver by night, and house cleaner on weekends. Marcus? He came from nothing, but he had one dream: Harvard Law. When he got accepted, the tuition letter came, $78,000 per year. They had $800 in the bank. Aaliyah looked at him and said, "Baby, we're doing this together. I believe in you." She sold the little house her mama left her. She picked up every extra shift. She stopped buying clothes, makeup, even basic medicine when she got sick. For 7 years, Marcus lived like a king: nice suits, fancy laptops, networking dinners. Aaliyah, she ate leftovers from the restaurant and slept 3 hours a night. Marcus's mother, Vanessa Sinclair, never hid her disgust. "She's not educated, Marcus. You're going to Harvard, and she can barely spell tort." But Aaliyah didn't care. She loved him. She just wanted to see him in that cap and gown. Graduation day at Harvard Law School. The campus looked like a dream: red bricks, proud families, cameras flashing. Aaliyah sat in the audience wearing the only nice dress she owned, bought secondhand 5 years ago. She cried when Marcus walked across the stage. 7 years. It was finally here. After the ceremony, Marcus pulled her and his mother aside in a quiet garden. He was smiling until he wasn't. He reached into his gown and pulled out a thick envelope. "Aaliyah, I filed for divorce." She laughed nervously. "Baby, stop playing." He didn't blink. "I'm serious. I start at Goldstein and Associates next week. Top firm in Manhattan. I'll be surrounded by judges' daughters, Yale graduates, women who belong in my world now. You, you're just a waitress. I'm ashamed of you." Vanessa smirked beside him. "Finally, my son sees clearly." Aaliyah's world shattered. She whispered, "7 years. I gave you everything." Marcus shrugged. "And I'm grateful. But gratitude doesn't belong at partner dinners." That night, Aaliyah signed the papers with shaking hands. She walked out of that garden with nothing but her old purse and a fire burning in her soul. Aaliyah disappeared. No social media, no forwarding address. She moved to a tiny studio in Queens, took the money from her mama's house that Marcus never knew she kept hidden, and enrolled in community college at age 34. She studied at night after 16-hour shifts. She graduated top of her class, transferred to Columbia Law on a full scholarship for disadvantaged women, and crushed every exam. 3 years later, while Marcus was still a junior associate, she passed the New York bar on her first try, scoring in the top 1%. Then her book came out, The Price of Ambition, an Autobiography. It became a New York Times bestseller overnight. Movie deals, speaking tours, millions in royalties. She founded the Jackson Rising Foundation, giving full-ride law scholarships to women who'd been told they weren't good enough. 1 year after the divorce, Aaliyah Jackson was the most sought-after civil rights attorney in the country, and Marcus was about to learn what karma really means. Marcus's new life looked perfect on Instagram. Luxury apartment in Soho, Rolex, vacations in Mykonos with his new fiancée Chloe Goldstein, the boss's daughter. But behind the scenes, he was drowning in debt private loans for the lifestyle, $400,000 in credit cards, leasing a Porsche he couldn't afford. Then the bomb dropped. Goldstein and Associates was sued for $180 million in a massive malpractice case, and Marcus was the lead attorney who missed the fatal error. The firm fired him on the spot. Chloe dumped him the same week. Creditors started calling. His Porsche was repossessed. His mother, Vanessa, was evicted after maxing out cards in his name. Within 60 days, Marcus Sinclair, Harvard Law graduate, was unemployed, homeless, and facing personal bankruptcy, with a warrant out because he stopped paying child support to a fiancée he never married. Long story. Desperate, he remembered one thing. Aaliyah's foundation gave emergency legal defense grants to wrongfully terminated professionals. He was now the exact person her foundation was created to help. Marcus showed up at the Jackson Rising Foundation headquarters in Manhattan, a stunning glass building with her name on it. Security almost threw him out until Aaliyah's assistant recognized him and called her. In her corner office overlooking Central Park, Aaliyah sat in a custom suit, calm and ice cold. Marcus fell to his knees literally. "Aaliyah, please, I was wrong. I'm ruined. I need the emergency defense grant. I'll die out there." Aaliyah didn't flinch. She slid a contract across the desk. "My foundation will pay every cent of your debt, $1.2 million. We'll hire the best lawyers to fight your case. We'll even give you a place to live." Marcus cried tears of joy until she continued. "But this is not charity. This is a 25-year exclusive employment contract. You will work for my foundation as a staff attorney in our rural Mississippi office. No big city, no fame, no Instagram. You will defend the same ordinary people you once looked down on for $60,000 a year. Your Porsche, your watches, your designer suits, surrendered to the foundation today, and every year on the anniversary of our divorce, you will write a public letter of apology that we post on our website," Marcus begged. "Aaliyah, please." She stood up. "You said I'd never be Ivy League material. Look at the diploma on my wall, Marcus. Harvard wishes they had me now." She pressed the intercom. "Security, please escort Mr. Sinclair to sign the contract, or to the street, his choice." Marcus signed with shaking hands. 2 days later, he was on a Greyhound bus to Mississippi, wearing a second-hand suit provided by the foundation. Last I heard, Marcus is still there 15 years in. He's actually good now, quiet, humble, saves lives with his legal work, and every year on the exact day he divorced her, a new letter appears on the Jackson Rising website titled, "To the woman I called ordinary, I will never be on your level." Aaliyah, she's engaged to a federal judge, runs a $200 million foundation, and turned every tear she cried into someone else's miracle. Moral of the story: never underestimate the woman who already gave you everything, because one day she'll take it all back and build an empire with it. So tell me in the comments, would you have made him sign the 25-year contract or let him rot? Drop your city and the word present so I can see where my family is watching from. If this story moved you, send a super thanks. It keeps these stories coming. 2 more powerful stories are popping up on your screen right now. Click one and I'll see you in the next one. I love y'all. Stay blessed. Peace.